What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here back with another action figure review. And as you can see today, we're going to be taking a look at the MAFEX or Medicom Toys Spider-Man Far From Home action figure. And I have no idea how long it's been since I pre-ordered this guy. All I know is MAFEX pre-orders are crazy because I've been out on my own for like 2 years now, and for whatever reason, I still have a ton of their figures showing up to my mom's house, and so it's ridiculously crazy, but I'm so glad to have this in hand. I don't know what it is, but I love Spider-Man in red and black, so I'm super excited for this. But not to ramble on, let's go ahead and take a look at that sexy packaging so we can bust the figure out and see what he's all about. Now for that sexy packaging, of course, you do have the window, as you guys can see, where you can see the figure, a whole bunch of the accessories. Definitely looks like he comes with a ton. You got an image of him right here with his web shooter, Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man upgraded suit action figure, MAFEX number 113, Medicom Toys. You got a Spider-Man logo right there, Spider-Man Far From Home up top. At the bottom, you got all the legal stuff no one cares about. Image of him web swimming right there with the peace sign. Those hands look really weird, or the fingers on him do. I'm hoping it's not as like textured as it looks. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but that just looks so weird. That kind of turned me off when I saw the promo images. Anyway, Spider-Man Far From Home right there. We've got an image of him posing right here. Love that. MAFEX at the top. Then, of course, on the back, you do have a ton of poses you can get the figure into, as well as some of the accessories. So let's go ahead and bust this guy out because I'm ready, just like I'm sure you guys are. Here he is, straight out of the package, the 100th Spider-Man from MAFEX, or at least it feels like it. They have totally made a ton of Spider-Man figures, but that being said, if you have even one or two of them by MAFEX, then you already know exactly what to expect. They do a pretty good job, and this is another figure where I don't really have too many complaints about it. Overall, I mean, it does look like he comes straight out of the movie. I do wish the red was a little bit more vibrant because the black really just makes the reds pop. And so if it was a more vibrant red, then man, this costume would be really, really dope looking. But as you guys can see, it looks and feels just like the 1.0 or even 2.0 of the Spider-Man Homecoming figure, but it's not. It's not the same body. I will show a comparison in just a sec. They probably reused some parts, but that's about it. As you guys can see, I'm not sure how well my camera's picking it up, but there's a lot of like sculpt work and texturing into the costume, as you guys can see. I know it's showing on the arms. I'm not really sure how much it's showing in like the actual, this piece right here, but all throughout the legs, there's a whole bunch of design and sculpt work put into this. So I really, really do appreciate that. And then again, I would say they might have reused some parts if I didn't know better, because I know a lot of people are looking at this probably thinking that they did, but I promise you they definitely didn't. That spider logo looks fire. I love that. I don't know why, but that white on top of black and red, this is my favorite color combination, by the way. Black, white, and red. If you ever see me out in public, these are like the colors that I wear the most. And so this just makes me happy to see. But overall, he looks really, really good. I have had one issue straight out of the package. Normally, MAFEX are very knock-kneed anyway, meaning that when you try to stand them, the knees kind of bend. But with this guy, it's a little bit worse. But this figure has actually been in production a whole lot longer than maybe some of the others that we've got. So I'm not going to blame them for that, but man, with a $90 figure, I really wish they would do something about these knees, because it does happen on a lot of MAFEX figures. Now, one thing I do want to talk about before I move on is the head. Some people like this, some people don't. I am one of those people that I don't. It looks too round. Like, I've seen some photos where it looks good, but for me, it's a little too round. I don't know. I'm not feeling that at all. But anyway, it's not that it's bad or anything, and I've heard that it's very accurate to the movie. It just feels like extremely round, and it doesn't seem like it's the shape of an actual human head. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. That's just a nitpick, though. That's something I'm complaining about that you guys might be happy about. But anyway, let's go ahead and put him back so I can do a comparison between this one and the Homecoming version. Looking at the two of these figures side by side, I take back what I just said in the last segment. I don't think that they reused any parts from the original figure at all. Maybe some of the inner engineering, like the butterfly joints, maybe the knees. Maybe even some of the ball pegs around the feet and everything, but overall, no. The torso and midsection on this one is a little bit thicker than this one. The arms are a little bit thicker as well. Obviously, the head sculpt is different. You guys can look at the thighs and tell this one's got almost like thunder thighs. That kind of threw me off right there. But the thighs on this one are bigger, and then even the lower legs. So I don't think that they really used the same parts too much when it comes to this guy. Almost nothing about this is the same, which, I mean, it makes sense simply because, I mean, this is a younger Tom Holland. This is him, what, 5 years later, even though it's probably only a year later in the actual story because he did get zapped away by Thanos. But I said zap, but you guys know the snapped him out of the reality. But yeah, so I don't think that any of this is a reuse, even though it does feel the same. It could just be the fact that they use the same plastic to manufacture it. But overall, these are not the same figures. So if you're thinking that, you're wrong. Now for the height on this guy, he is still a teenager, so he's going to be small, but to the top of his head, he's right at about 5.5 inches, maybe a little bit over that, but not very much at all. Meaning, once again, he's going to fit in scale very well with any of your SH Figuarts or even MAFEX Avengers. For the most part, you probably could even mix him in with some Marvel Legends. I will show some of that a little bit later on in the review. Now, articulation-wise on this guy, he looks up that much very freaking well. I swear, I think their articulation when it comes to the neck just gets better and better every figure, or at least it feels like it. He looks down about that much also very well, so if you're posing him, getting ready to strike from above, you don't have to worry about him being able to look down. He does get a ton of tilt at the head and also because of the neck as well, and they're still using this curved double ball peg. This is something that other companies need to take notes on because this works so well for them and I love it. His arms can go up and out about that much so he can punch upward no problem. As far as the butterfly joint, you guys see it. Look at that, man. He can bring his arms all the way in, no problem. He does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. His hands are on the typical MAFEX hinge, so you can move the fist around however you want to. He does have a diaphragm joint that can swivel. He crunches forward about that much, crunches back about that much, twist and turn, all of that is in there. He does have a waist swivel as well, which will help to crunch him forward even more, back even more, of course. Just watch for gapping if you do it too much. Twist and turn, all in there. His legs are on the drop down method, so he can kick forward about that much. Doesn't kick back very much, but obviously it's because that's a floating piece, but still definitely enough. He does have a swivel built in right there. His feet or legs can go out about that much, so he can almost do the splits, which is great. His knees are double jointed, and so, yeah, you definitely get a lot of posability out of those. Foot goes down about that much, up about that much. He does have really great ankle rocker, and he does have a toe hinge. So when it comes to articulation, this is no secret. MAFEX is just killing it. Now for accessories, you don't get anything too different than what you get with most other Spider-Man figures. You do have his default head sculpt and a pair of fist hands. You get another head sculpt where the eyes are a little bit squinty. I feel like they should have squinted them a little bit more just to make it look more accurate to the movie, but that's fine. I'll probably never use this. You get a pair of open palm / wall crawling hands. You get a pair of peace sign hands. I really like these. You get a pair of web shooter hands. You get a pair of web holding hands or web swinging hands, whichever you want to use them for. You get a pair of relaxed hands, or these can be used for holding items if you want them to. They just look a little bit more relaxed for me, or even like he's reaching for something. And then you get a pair of wall crawling hands that have the magnets on them, so if you have anywhere you want to attach them to, you can use that. You do get a pair of magnetized feet as well. You do get this cell phone, which is bigger than most that we get, so it'll be a whole lot harder to lose. Also, you can even see the icons on there if you look hard enough. I don't know if those are just black circles, but look like icons. You know that's what they're for. But yeah, anyway, you do get 3 webs, and these are the same ones that you get with every other Spider-Man figure. You get the smaller web shooter, and yes, you do get 2 of each one. I'm just going to show one, though. You get the smaller one, you get the longer one, and then, of course, you get the one that he holds in his hand. All these came in the package warped, and I don't know. At this point, I never use them, but still, they do need to do better packaging those. I got out quite a few more figures than usual, so expect a few more size comparisons than what I normally do. First off, here he is standing next to the MAFEX 1.0 Spider-Man Homecoming action figure, the MAFEX 2.0 Iron Spider, which just released like 2 weeks ago, and then of course the Marvel Legends Night Monkey or Spider-Man Tech Suit, Noir, whichever one you want to call him. And also, MAFEX should be releasing their version of this figure pretty soon if it doesn't get pushed back. Next up, here he is standing next to the MAFEX. I guess this is the McFarlane design for Spider-Man. I don't know. I just say classic comic book look. The SH Figuarts Spider-Man, which is the Japanese Spider-Man, in case you don't know. Really dope figure. Get him if you don't have him. And then lastly, the MAFEX Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Peter B. Parker action figure, which is probably still my favorite Spider-Man. Here he is standing next to a MAFEX Adult Miles Morales, the MAFEX Classic Outfit Venom, and of course the MAFEX Classic Outfit Carnage. And I don't know why I said Classic Outfit for Carnage. He usually looks the same all the time. Now for some of the Avengers, here he is standing next to the SH Figuarts Avengers Endgame Captain America, the SH Figuarts Avengers Endgame Final Edition Iron Man, and then the SH Figuarts Mark IV War Machine. Lastly, here he is standing next to the Marvel Legends Spider-Man Far From Home Mysterio, the Marvel Legends movie version Venom, who is so tall he's out of frame, and then the Marvel Legends Amazing Spider-Man. This is the Retro Wave Spider-Man. So yeah, quite a few size comparisons this time around. So I'm going to keep it real with y'all on my final thoughts. This figure is very meh for me. And the only reason I say that is because I was telling my buddy recently I am burned out on Spider-Man figures. It just seems like MAFEX has released so many, and I'm almost as tired of reviewing Spider-Man figures as I am tired of reviewing Goku figures from the SH Figuarts line. Now, I know that's completely different, but I don't know. I just burn out on reviewing the same figures over and over. Even though there's something different about them, it's still the same character. And I mean, there's not really a whole lot of changes to this guy other than the design of the suit. Yes, it is new sculpt work. He's a very, very fun figure. I'm not going to say that he isn't. It's just that this was a review I pretty much had to force myself to do. And I really only did it just because I told my friend I was going to do it. I was totally going to skip out on doing this one. So you know who you are. This review's totally for you. Now, on to my issues with this guy. One of them is a nitpick. Obviously, I don't like the head sculpt. And if you're like me, I'm going to tell you right now, I tried to put the head sculpt from this guy onto this figure. Well, unfortunately, the ball peg on this one is too big. So if you're thinking about doing that because you have the same nitpick that I do, this head is not going to go on that body unless you modify it. But then you can't put that head on this body because, like I said, the ball peg on this guy is just too big. So that's not going to work. So you're stuck with this head unless you do something different. But that's my nitpick. Now, as far as the only issue I have with this guy, it's the knees. The knees, and I'm hoping this is just on mine. The knees, no matter how I try to stand him, I have to pick him back up 3 or 4 times, push these knees out, stand him again. Then when I go and mess with these, sometimes the knees will start to bend again. And that's an issue with a lot of MAFEX figures, but it's not, for me, it hasn't been as bad as it was with this guy. Like, I feel like it takes forever to get this guy to stand up straight. And even if you look at him right now, you can tell that the knees are bent. Granted, a lot of it is due to how it's sculpted. It just, I don't know. It's a frustration with this guy specifically. Yeah. Overall, I would say if you are interested in getting this figure, get him now. And the reason that I say that is not only because MAFEX figures tend to go up in price after you miss out on them, but I do believe that the movie is coming out this year, I think. And I know everyone's going crazy because this one's supposed to introduce the multiverse and all that good stuff. I'm hoping it's going to be a very good movie. I enjoyed the first 2. I know a lot of people didn't. But I would say if you're planning on getting him, just pick him up. If you're worried about not liking it, you can always sell it and always get your money back. So pick this guy up if you're even remotely thinking about it. But overall, that's my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry if I wasn't as full of enthusiasm as usual. Like I said, I just kind of burn out on reviewing the same figures. But don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content. And lastly, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and stay safe wherever you are. Peace.